Everything you've heard about unclogging your arteries is backwards. The whole picture, the clogged pipe, the gunk building up, the idea that some magic food comes along and scrapes it clean. None of that is how it works, not even close. Garrett Landon. Your artery is not a pipe, it's a living organ, 3 layers thick. And the innermost layer, a sheet of cells thinner than a single hair, that layer is the one deciding right now, tonight, while you're watching this, whether plaque grows or stops. That layer has a name most people never hear, and it produces a molecule that your entire cardiovascular system depends on. A gas that lasts about 5 seconds before it disappears. 5 seconds. That's how thin the line is between an artery that stays open and one that slowly closes. And here's where it gets strange. There's a meal, one specific combination of foods that hits every single mechanism your body uses to protect that layer. Not one pathway, all 3, at the same time. Most people eat these foods already, just never together, and never prepared the right way. One of them, I guarantee it's in your kitchen right now. You've been cooking it wrong for years, and the moment you do, you destroy the one compound your arteries actually need. But before I get to the meal, you need to understand what's actually happening inside that wall. Because until you see that, nothing else makes sense. Picture the inside of your artery, not a tube. Think of it more like a road with a living surface. That surface is called the endothelium, one layer of cells, pressed tight together like tiles on a bathroom floor. And those cells do something remarkable. They produce a gas called nitric oxide. That gas is the single most important molecule in your cardiovascular system, bar none. When nitric oxide is flowing, your arteries stay soft, flexible. They widen when you need more blood, during a walk, a climb up the stairs, when your heart beats harder. They relax. They let blood through without resistance, and they keep their walls sealed shut, so nothing from the bloodstream leaks in where it doesn't belong. Now flip it. When that endothelium gets damaged by high blood sugar, by smoking, by years of high blood pressure, it stops producing nitric oxide. The tiles crack. And when they crack, LDL cholesterol particles slip through those cracks and burrow into the wall itself. Not on top of it, inside it. That's where plaque begins. Not in the open space of the artery, inside the wall, like mold growing behind drywall. By the time you'd see it on a scan, it's been there for years. So the first question isn't, how do I scrape plaque off? That's the wrong question. The right question is, how do I keep those tiles intact? How do I keep nitric oxide flowing? And the answer starts with fat, but not the fat you think. Omega-3 fatty acids, the kind in wild salmon, sardines, mackerel, do something that no supplement label ever explains properly. They physically change the membrane of those endothelial cells. They make it more fluid. And when the membrane is more fluid, the enzyme that produces nitric oxide works better, faster, more reliably. Clinical data shows that omega-3s improve how well your arteries dilate, a direct measure of nitric oxide function, in as little as 4 months. And in a large interventional trial, people who consumed about 850 milligrams of EPA and DHA daily, that's 1 serving of wild salmon, saw fatal cardiovascular events drop by 30%. Sudden cardiac death fell by 45%. 1 serving of fish, not a drug, not a procedure, a piece of salmon on a plate. But omega-3s are only the first part of this meal. Because your body has a backup system for nitric oxide that most people accidentally shut off every single morning. And if you understand what that system is, you'll never look at a salad the same way again. If any of that hit home, save this video so you don't lose it. What's coming next matters even more. Your body has 2 ways to make nitric oxide, 2 completely separate factories. The first one, that enzyme inside the endothelial cells, is the main one. It runs on an amino acid called L-arginine, and when everything's working, it pumps out nitric oxide on demand. But here's what nobody tells you in a 15-minute office visit. That enzyme gets weaker as you age. By the time you're 55, its output is roughly half of what it was at 25. Half. And if you've got high blood pressure, diabetes, or you smoke, it drops even faster. So by the time you actually need nitric oxide the most, when your arteries are stiffening, when plaque is starting to form, The factory that makes it is running at half capacity, or less. And that's where your body's backup generator kicks in, but only if you feed it. Leafy greens, spinach, arugula, kale, romaine, are loaded with something called dietary nitrate. Not the nitrate in processed meat, different compound, completely different effect. When you chew those greens, bacteria that live on the back of your tongue convert that nitrate into nitrite. That nitrite goes into your bloodstream. And in your blood vessels, especially where oxygen is low and the tissue is struggling, it converts into nitric oxide, the exact same molecule, through a completely different door. Think about what that means. Your main factory is slowing down, but you've got a back entrance that bypasses the whole thing, and all it needs is a handful of spinach. Now here's the part that made me stop and rethink what I was telling people about their morning routine. Antibacterial mouthwash, the kind millions of people use every day, the kind sitting on your bathroom counter right now, kills the bacteria on your tongue that activate this pathway. Clinical data shows that people who use antibacterial mouthwash regularly have higher blood pressure than those who don't. Not because the mouthwash does something to your heart, because it destroys the microbes that convert nitrate to nitrite. You rinse your mouth, and you shut off the backup generator. About 300 milligrams of dietary nitrate per day, roughly 4 servings of leafy greens, is enough to activate this pathway and produce a measurable change in blood vessel dilation and blood pressure. That's 2 big handfuls of spinach, under your salmon, dressed with olive oil. And that olive oil isn't just for flavor, it's doing something else entirely, but that comes later. Right now, you've got 2 of the 3 pathways covered. Your salmon is restoring the main factory, your greens are powering the backup, but there's a third mechanism, and it has nothing to do with nitric oxide. It has to do with what's floating in your blood, looking for a crack to slip through. LDL cholesterol. You've heard the name 1,000 times. Bad cholesterol. But that label hides something crucial. LDL isn't bad because it exists. Your body makes it on purpose. It carries fat and nutrients to cells that need them. LDL becomes dangerous when there's too much of it for too long, and especially when it gets oxidized. That last part is key, and I'll come back to it. For now, focus on the quantity, because the math is simple and brutal. The more LDL particles circling through your blood, the more of them find those cracks in the endothelium. The more that slip in, the faster plaque grows. Lower the count, and you slow the whole process down. Clinical data across dozens of trials has confirmed this so consistently that it's practically a law of cardiovascular medicine. Lower LDL, less plaque progression. So how do you lower it without a pill? There's a fiber in oats, beta-glucan, that does something no other breakfast food does. When you eat oatmeal, that beta-glucan dissolves and forms a thick gel in your small intestine. That gel wraps around bile acids, compounds your liver makes out of cholesterol to help you digest fat. Normally, those bile acids get recycled back to the liver and reused. But when they're trapped in that gel, your body flushes them out. Gone. And your liver, suddenly short on bile acids, does the only thing it can. It pulls LDL cholesterol out of your blood to make new ones. You didn't take a drug. You ate a bowl of oatmeal. And your liver, just doing its job, cleared LDL from your bloodstream. How much? A randomized controlled trial showed that 3 grams of oat beta-glucan per day, about 1.5 cups of cooked oatmeal, reduced LDL cholesterol by 5 to 7% in 4 weeks. Another trial using a higher dose saw reductions near 20%. That's the ballpark of a low-dose statin, from oats. And that's not even the most interesting part. Because the same fiber that traps bile acids also feeds bacteria in your colon that produce butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that reduces inflammation in your gut wall and, through signals that travel to your liver, helps regulate cholesterol production from the other end. You're hitting cholesterol from 2 directions with the same bowl of oats. If you know someone going through the same thing, send them this video right now, or drop a comment. Someone reading it might recognize themselves. Now, you've got your salmon protecting the endothelium, your greens powering the backup nitric oxide pathway, your oats pulling LDL out of the blood. 3 mechanisms, 3 foods. But there's still a hole in this armor. Because even with lower LDL, even with better nitric oxide, if the LDL that's left in your blood gets oxidized, it becomes 10 times more dangerous. And stopping that oxidation is where the last two ingredients come in. One of them is sitting in a bottle on your counter. The other one, I said I'd come back to it, is the ingredient you've been destroying every time you cook it. Garlic, the ingredient you've been cooking wrong. Here's why. Garlic contains a compound called allicin. Harmless on its own, does nothing. But inside each clove there's also an enzyme, alliinase. The moment you crush or chop garlic, the cell walls break, allicin meets alliinase, and a new compound is born, allicin. That's the one your arteries want. Allicin is anti-inflammatory. It reduces platelet aggregation, which means your blood becomes less likely to form clots. And in a 4-year randomized trial, continuous garlic intake reduced the growth of arterial plaque by 5 to 18%. In some cases, plaque actually shrank, not just slowed, reversed. But here's the catch. Alliinase, that enzyme, is heat sensitive. If you throw crushed garlic straight into a hot pan, the heat kills the enzyme before it can finish making allicin. You get garlic flavor. You get zero cardiovascular benefit. Zero. The fix is 10 minutes. Crush the garlic. Set it on the cutting board. Walk away. In 10 minutes, the allicin has fully formed, and now it can survive moderate heat. Not high heat, you still don't want to char it. But a gentle warm through, stirred into a dressing at the end, tossed with cooked greens, that works. The allicin holds. And there's another piece of this story that I didn't expect when I first looked into it. A clinical trial took people with metabolic syndrome, the cluster of high blood sugar, high triglycerides, belly fat, and gave half of them aged garlic extract daily for a year. At 12 months, the group taking aged garlic had slowed total plaque progression by 80% compared to placebo. 80%. And the soft plaque, the unstable, dangerous kind, the kind that ruptures and causes heart attacks, that actually decreased. That word, decreased, stopped me. Because in cardiovascular medicine, we're usually fighting to slow things down, to buy time, to keep things from getting worse. Reversal is a different conversation entirely. And here was garlic, a bulb from the grocery store, doing something that usually requires years of medication. Now, the last piece. Because even with everything you've heard so far, the salmon, the greens, the oats, the garlic, there's still one vulnerability. The LDL that's still in your blood, even at lower levels, can get oxidized. And when it does, it changes. It becomes a molecule that your immune system doesn't recognize anymore. White blood cells attack it, swallow it, bloat up into foam cells, and those foam cells pile up inside the artery wall. That's the core of every plaque. What I'm about to say could change your evening. If there's someone next to you who needs to hear this, forward this video now before you forget. Sometimes a single link does more than 10 doctor visits. Oxidized LDL. That's the real enemy, not LDL itself, oxidized LDL. When LDL particles sit in your bloodstream and get hit by free radicals, unstable molecules generated by inflammation, smoking, stress, processed food, those LDL particles change shape. They become something your body treats as a foreign invader. Your immune cells engulf them. They become foam cells. And foam cells are the bricks that build every plaque from the inside. So the question becomes, how do you stop LDL from oxidizing in the first place? 2 ingredients, the bottle on your counter and the carton in your fridge. Extra virgin olive oil. Not regular olive oil, not light olive oil. Extra virgin, the first cold press, unrefined. It contains polyphenols, a class of antioxidant compounds that directly shield LDL particles from oxidation. They physically intercept free radicals before those radicals can reach LDL. And the data on this is consistent across multiple dietary trials. Populations that use extra virgin olive oil as their primary fat source have significantly lower rates of cardiovascular events. Not because olive oil lowers cholesterol, it doesn't really. It protects the cholesterol that's already there from becoming dangerous. And then there are berries. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. They contain anthocyanins, the pigments that make them blue or red, and those anthocyanins are among the most potent antioxidants found in any food. They do the same thing the olive oil polyphenols do, but through a different chemical pathway. They reduce oxidative stress in the endothelium itself, which means the artery lining takes less damage, produces more nitric oxide, and stays intact longer. Now step back and look at what you've built. Salmon restores endothelial cell membranes. Nitric oxide flows. Your main factory runs. Leafy greens feed the backup nitric oxide pathway. Even if the main factory slows, you've got a second supply. Oats trap bile acids, force the liver to pull LDL from your blood. The invader count drops. Garlic stabilizes plaque, reduces clotting risk. Crushed and rested 10 minutes before use. Olive oil and berries shield remaining LDL from oxidation. The invaders that are left can't get through the door. That's not 6 random healthy foods, that's a system. Each one covers a gap the others leave open. Together, they hit all 3 mechanisms of arterial damage: endothelial dysfunction, LDL accumulation, and oxidative modification. And here's the part that ties the whole thing together. The meal is simple, simpler than you think. A piece of wild salmon, baked, grilled, pan-seared, doesn't matter, 6 ounces. On a bed of raw spinach and arugula, 2 big handfuls. Dressed with extra virgin olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, and 2 or 3 cloves of garlic that you crushed 10 minutes before you sat down. On the side, or earlier in the day, a bowl of steel-cut oats. And after the meal, a handful of blueberries. That's it. No exotic spices, no supplement stack, no superfood powder from the internet. Salmon, greens, oats, garlic, olive oil, berries. And the reason this works better as a meal than as individual ingredients scattered across the week is timing. When you eat omega-3s alongside polyphenol-rich olive oil, the olive oil protects those omega-3s from oxidizing during digestion. The fats in the salmon and olive oil also improve your absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins and carotenoids in the greens. And the fiber from the oats slows the entire digestive process, which means the nitrate from the greens converts to nitrite more gradually, giving you a longer window of nitric oxide production. You're not just eating good foods, you're creating the conditions for each one to work better because the others are there. I spent a long time looking at this from every angle I could find. I went through the endothelial data, I went through the LDL trials, I went through the oxidation research, and what kept coming back over and over was that no single food is the answer. The answer is the overlap. The meal where 3 pathways get hit at the same time, with foods that enhance each other's absorption and effectiveness. You don't need to eat this every night. 3 times a week is enough to shift the trajectory. But here's what I'd tell you if you were sitting across from me right now. Start tonight. Not Monday, not next month, tonight. Because that endothelium, that paper-thin layer inside your artery, doesn't wait. It's either getting better or it's getting worse. Every meal is a vote in one direction or the other. Every time you hit like, the algorithm shows this video to someone new. Someone out there is going to bed tonight not knowing what you now know. One share and you might save someone's evening, or their artery, or their life. 3 things you can do tomorrow morning. Crush your garlic and wait. Switch to extra virgin olive oil if you haven't already, and put a handful of spinach under whatever you're having for dinner. That's it. That's the start. I'll keep saying what others would rather not, as long as you keep listening. Until next time.